The show you are about to listen to is intended for mature audience only. There will be things said that may not be appropriate for younger audience and may offend you. We at Whatever Talk would like to apologize in advance, but really, get over it.
What up, though, folks? Welcome to Whatever Talk, the show where we talk about whatever we seem to be talking about at the time you hear us after you push play. I've been trying to look for ways to make that as long as possible each time.
I love it.
Oh man, but I do have a guest with me, Rochelle. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. How's it going?
Awesome, awesome. And I feel like I can't even say Rochelle like I just said it. I have to say it, Rochelle.
Listen, you could say it however you like. We're friends. Okay, you get to call me Ro if you prefer. Okay,
I appreciate that. I
it's only the
appreciate
people that I have a problem with that have to call me Mrs.
it. So I like to get the white out the way in the beginning of the show.
We talking about whatever that's on your mind. Speak your mind, don't be shy. This is your time to shine.
Oh, you kill me. Go ahead.
Of course, we had this I'm calling it artificial assassination attempt here recently with Mr. Trump. I don't even like calling him Mr. because a little bit of research on the word Mr. is just another word for master.
Mm.
So we're still calling these niggas master, unbeknownst to us.
I just say the former president. That makes me much happier. I don't like to acknowledge with like real names. 45, former president.
I'm gonna go with Trump because
There you go.
former president ain't enough of an identification for
Mm.
us to know that the British is coming.
Once you get into the details, it's kind of hard to miss. But please continue.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
interrupting.
yes. It is pretty scary when we say former president these days.
We
But
know what you're saying.
exactly, I'm gonna go with this nigga Trump. Put on another award-winning stage play, an assassination attempt. It was several shows ago where I did bring up, we need to bring back assassinations. Like, when did they stop? Like, we need to bring them back. But this is why I'm calling this a stage play because he's still living. The fact that he's breathing right now is fake. That's why I'm calling this stage play. This straight cut going with it. And another reason is that he put up the Black Power fist.
Mm,
So
mm, mm.
those two marriages alone tell me that it was a stage play. Also, a person with formal training with the weapon he was using standing across the street from him couldn't hit him for some reason.
Mm.
Stage play.
All I have is ums.
The person behind him with the camera ain't even trying to get out the way of the blank shots being fired right now. I will say this: if this not a stage play, the me being the conspiracy theorist that I am, the person who got supposedly killed in this, I look at it like America casualties are tax write-offs to America. So somebody had to die to make it look that much more real.
Mm.
That's just how American plays. We're willing to take out our own to make sure that we prevail. That's just the American way. Or I like to think of any other government ways too. But since I live in America, yeah, it's the American way. Can't keep the shooter alive because he would probably spill the beans on the stage play.
I love your conspiracist heart. I do.
I mean, was the blood extra bright for some reason? I don't know. It probably mean just me throwing that in for fun. Like the blood looked pretty vibrant to be DNA spewing from his ear, which for now, I guess now that we know this news, seems to be the most the the part of the body that bleeds the most. Uh, did he say something like that?
I don't. All right, so so many things. I was waiting for like if there was a question or something before I jumped in. So here's my take on all this stuff because I'm frustrated and I'm tired. I really, truly, like in my heart of hearts, believe that violence should always be like the last resort. We're human beings. We have a brain. We have the ability to have deductive reasoning, to have conversation. Like that's the whole thing about us being evolved and what separates us from the rest of the animals out on the planet, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so I always believe that discourse is the number one option and you should be able to talk it through. You can get real passionate about it. You
Mm-hmm,
call people
mm-hmm.
out their names, but you should be able to navigate through one way or another.
Not necessary,
Like we
but you
get to an
should.
agreement or like, right, we should be
Mm-hmm,
able to do these
mm-hmm.
things. So I don't condone whether it is conscripted or not, any of those things that happen on that day, because you shouldn't have to assassinate a leader in order to get change. You shouldn't have to resort to violence to get your point across. Sometimes that's all you have when you've tried every other avenue, but it shouldn't be the de facto thing, right? And so I'm never for attacking anybody physically because of their ideas or what they're saying, with the exception of I do believe you should punch Nazis in the face. That's just kind of like I feel like a universal. We can all get behind that one. But when I look at the whole situation, there's no winner. There's no winner. There's no joy to be had in any of this, right? At the end of the day, whether I agree with the folks that stand behind that man as far as their beliefs and that's what they want to support, nobody should go out going, hey, I'm going to support my guy and end up dying. That's a family that has been fucked up
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm,
for no good reason. Okay. And, not taking the shooter alive, there's another family that's fucked up. And the ripples that get felt through that, I can't imagine. I can't imagine what those families are going through. Right. And my heart bleeds because losing someone unexpectedly to violence that's not aimed at them, being a casualty,
mm-hmm,
collateral damage, that's
mm-hmm,
not fucking fair.
mm-hmm.
That's not fair. And that's not where we should be as a nation in trying to pick our leaders and where as a nation we go in the future, right? Regardless of whatever your politics are, because I don't care. That's yours. You do what you do. Again, as long as it's not imposing, oppressing, or harming somebody else, go about your business, live your life, have a good day. I'm gonna do my stuff. I'm gonna have a good day. All that kind of stuff. Where I sit now in looking at that whole thing and the aftermath of it, all it leaves me with is even more convinced that like there is no strategy, there is no forethought, there is no compassion, there is no empathy, there's no leadership, there is just an entertainer, right? Let's not forget.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, dude isn't a good businessman. He got money from his dad, he got set up from his dad, and he ran that all into the ground, right? The dude is an entertainer. He's a TV personality and a C-list actor in some cameos in some side movies. Why expect anything other than spectacle? Why? We already know who he is. We already know who he's surrounded by.
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you. But uh, I'm gonna stick with what I said earlier. It's become the American way.
It's become, I think, the Western way to take in information, right?
Oh, yeah, I
Like
like
that's what we're
that.
used to, right? When you talk about like, the visuals that you saw and like the blood like looking too bright, it's because we are so used to consuming information now in TV, movies, and through a screen. Whether it's your phone, your iPad, Android device, whatever, right? We are so used to and not reading a newspaper, not a magazine, not conversation face to face regularly. We are now getting our news from what? TikTokers, Instagrammer, and I'm just saying we in general in the Western world. We are used to now absorbing all of our information through a screen first, and then interpersonal second, and sometimes third. I think that that's what leads us to, if we're smart, distrust what we're seeing because we know everything on that digital screen can be manipulated, right? Like all of our entertainment is fantasy, it's make believe, it's pretend. And so as long as you remember that, when you have and you're using your deductive reasoning that we have, you can go, hey, pause, I need to like actually examine this, and I need to make sure that I understand what's real and what's not. And unfortunately, we have too much entertainment that is built as reality TV that is not reality. And so I feel like, have become so disconnected from what the reality is versus what we're used to consuming.
Yep.
And that's the thing that scares me. And that's why I say, like, I'm frustrated because I'm like, I know that this is, and always have known that this is an entertainer trying to do something else, right? And so I've never taken it seriously because, right? Because I've separated. I'm like, this is the dude that's been in Home Alone movies, you know, as a cameo. This is the guy that ran a reality TV show, right, on NBC. This is an entertainer. This is an actor. Okay? Like so many people forget Ronald Reagan, actor first. Why you expect anything else?
Yeah, I'm about to say, didn't we have another performer as a president?
We've had several performers as presidents, right?
Yeah,
like
I would like to say I would like to say a lot of them are performers because
you have to be. That's part of the
I
role.
think yeah, I was about to say if not all, but you know what? I ain't even gonna say a lot of them. I say all of them are performers because I feel like they've been picked to be the president versus voted to be the president.
For many of them, for sure. But that's also
Mm-hmm.
part of the role, right? Because you
Yep.
have to get buy-in. You have to sell the people on the ideals, on the policy. So you have to be, in a way, a performer. But there's a difference between being a performer, being an actor, and being an entertainer, right? Because there's different levels of understanding what you're getting into and being able to deliver on that. You can't say that Obama wasn't a performer. Obama was a phenomenal performer. But there was also a level of intelligence that went along with that. He wasn't an entertainer. He wasn't there to entertain, but he absolutely was there to perform, between the way that he used his mannerisms, his speech, but also his intellect to get buy-in from folks on things. And guess what? In many places, it failed. I'm not knocking any president for being a performer. To a degree, you have to be. You have to be. But you do also have to have a level of intelligence, not necessarily to understand all the ins and outs of the office, because listen, I am not a poli-sci major. I can't even begin to understand all the ins and outs of all foreign policy and how you have to navigate all the branches of the electorate, right? But you do have to have a base understanding and an intellect to know what you don't know and why you need to surround yourself with experts, how to differentiate an expert agenda versus a personal agenda, and then balance that all with globally the needs of the people that you are representing, that you are charged to really take care of, and then how you navigate in the world. And when you put someone in that is an entertainer, that is used to, hey, I got to pitch myself and I got to sell myself to get the part, you're dealing with a narcissist who isn't going to be able to do any of those other things. And that's not who I want in any kind of position of power.
Yeah, you said take care of people.
Take care of people. Like that's the thing. Like at the end of the day, our elected leaders are supposed to try and not fuck us.
That's
On
why
foreign
I'm laughing so
policy, on
hard.
economics. Like it's not easy. Okay, we are not an easy people to protect. We can't even figure out our own shit on a daily basis, let alone tell somebody how we need to be taken care of, how we need more housing and for it to not like be a dream to be able to acquire, how we need better healthcare, how we need options, right? Like these are all things that we look to our governmental leaders to go, hey, we see that there's an epidemic over here. let's give you the education and the tools that you need and the systems that you need so that you can take care of yourself and we